Gathmir turns to you, Theo. Do you remember the way to Gelidar?
Is this a place that Theo has been before?
It is.
I should be able to guide us there.
I understand it is typically a few days by foot. Many of those around us are wounded, tired. Perhaps we should set up camp somewhere nearby. Travel at first light.
We're still too close to the fortress for my liking. I think we should make further into the woods before we set up any sort of camp.
I understand. Whatever you think is best.
Theo starts to basically go over just who is still with us, who is injured, who is not, who's capable of helping those who are injured, and is starting to relay, well, I guess orders would be the best way to put it, for getting everybody grouped together and on the move.
I'm still just looking out at the fortress, like just sort of numb. Just sort of in a sort of a daze as to what just happened. It's like Kresh has always been there. He was always going to be there. Now he isn't.
There is an aftershock of what seemed to be an explosion of light, and it rolls through the forest around each of you. And for some reason, you're expecting to be exposed to a level of cold from the incoming wind that rushes through the leaves. But it's a soft warmth, almost like a bonfire that just rolls across your bodies. And for a moment, you forget where you are and how close you are to danger and death. But something in that light, that pillar reaching into the sky, it feels like hope. Of the 40 survivors, 3 must be carried due to severe injuries. There are another 6 with minor injuries that are able to walk, but that leaves you with around 31 able bodies, aside from yourselves and Gathmir.
Theo starts to assess who is the strongest and capable of carrying someone else. I think he's gonna approach Brick.
Yes, Brick, who currently has a child attached to his back. Yes, go for it.
Oh, you're already carrying somebody?
I mean, he can walk, but, he is on there.
Everybody who's able to needs to pull their weight in this instance. It's going to be a long trek. If the little one can walk, I would advise you do so.
Who exactly do you need carried?
Well, there's several grievously injured people. They are unable to walk on their own.
Yes, no, I got that part. Brick kind of gestures like, where person?
Theo will gesture to... I guess he'll just lead Brick over to one of the injured people.
Okay. The 2 of you walk over. There's a small gathering around this individual. There are survivors next to him on the ground trying to tighten bandages and control bleeding. This particular tabaxi has lost a leg. It appears as though they're in and out of consciousness, but they're at least stable.
Do you think you can handle them for the day?
Probably. He'll just kind of nod. Ballpark it. How much does this tabaxi weigh?
Around 120.
Thank you.
Minus a leg.
No, I think that was minus the leg already.
But yeah, Theo will start looking for 2 more able-bodied people to carry the other 2 injured.
It doesn't take long to identify some of the more seasoned and stronger members of the group of survivors. And based on your directions, they grab the other 2 seriously wounded individuals.
Is Oswin still sort of in a daze?
Kind of. Like, I think she's with the wave of light that rolled over, and the slight feeling of hope. She actually has turned from looking at what was the fort, and she's walked further into the group. She's still quiet though, just sort of processing, and so she's sort of reactive at the moment. Just knows she has to stay with the group. That's what that feeling told her, but not quite aware at the moment.
All right. Theo will also see what Kerrigan is doing.
Kerrigan is currently sitting on the ground having what appears to be a nervous breakdown. He's kind of holding his legs to his chest and rocking back and forth, kind of muttering under his breath.
Theo will kind of stand in front of you. Whether you acknowledge him or not, he's just going to say, "There'll be time for that later. We need to get moving."
It's happened again, and I couldn't stop it.
And it will keep happening if we don't get moving.
You're right. If this happens again, you have my full permission to quite literally smack me out of it.
Only if I need to. Believe me, I've been through enough of these to know that you just have to keep on moving. Otherwise, that's it.
And then Kerrigan is going to stand and just... All right. What do you need?
We're going to need eyes to make sure that nothing catches wind of us. You seem pretty quiet. Figured you'd be able to spot something before it spots you.
Yeah, I usually. And then Kerrigan's just going to pull his hood up over his head and be like, I'll scout ahead as well as I can.
Don't stray too far. We've lost enough people.
No, trust me, I don't plan on venturing too far ahead on my own.
Theo kind of gives him a little clap on the shoulder of approval and starts making other preparations.
Kerrigan, give me a perception check.
17.
Torchlight. In the distance, nearby Fort Dwyn, there is a scouting party hunting for survivors. It's best if you start moving. There doesn't seem to be anything ahead of you, only behind you.
We need to move, and we need to move right now. Unless
then.
all of us wish to meet the same fate as the rest of Fort Dwyn.
Theo will take his place at the front and start leading everybody on.
Kerrigan is going to head to the front of the pack and stay about 20-ish feet ahead of, maybe 40 feet ahead of the rest of the group to scout.
Isolde. You find yourself walking trails that are unfamiliar. You've seen this beacon of light nearby, and it strikes you as odd that such a show of divine magic could even still exist. All the while you feel that slightly unsettling crawling of eldritch magic in the back of your mind as subtle suggestions creep into your thoughts as to where to go and when to go. You hear the snapping of twigs, the crunching of leaves under boots nearby, and there is faint light. What do you do?
Isolde immediately is gonna hot perception check. Is this I see light, I hear sounds coming closer. Am I about to be accosted by demons, or is these travelers on the road? Quick kind of should I hide or should I greet? Kind of investigation or perception check, whatever you'd like, if I can.
Give me investigation.
That's a hot 12.
Through the cover of bushes, you can faintly see a group of what seems to be travelers. Some of them are covered in wounds. Some of them are frightened, but they are definitely not demons.
Wasn't sure if this was going to be that scouting party from earlier or not. Yeah, I will, as carefully as I can, try to get in their path down the road a little bit so that it seems like they just happened upon me. I don't want to pop out of the woods next to them. That always seems to like a bad way to get shanked. But maybe if they come up on me, then they'll feel less threatened if I'm there, is what I'll do.
Can you describe what Theo sees as you step into the trail?
Yeah, so Isolde is kind of this very thin, elvish figure. Right now, though, that you can't really tell that they're elvish aside from the softness of their features, wearing very finely made black robes, the hood kind of pulled up tight against the head, obscuring a lot of their features. It looks to you at first glance that they are wearing black gloves, despite their fair skin, but you do see nails there, that there is some touch or hint of darkness on them. They wear no holy symbol or mark of the divine, though their vestments do seem vestmenty. They do seem clerical somewhat in nature, but to what deity I doubt anyone here would know. And they, step onto the road and they almost take on a very cautious demeanor, as if they're a little afraid of you, to put you at ease.
As soon as Theo sees this person, at this point he's had his bow out, but he's only had it in one hand. But as soon as he sees another person on the road, he brings his other hand to it. He doesn't draw it, but he's clearly ready to without a moment of hesitation, as he clocks eyes with you.
Over your shoulder, Theo, Gathmir calls out, "Identify yourself."
I am Isolde Rosewood. I am just a traveler. I was drawn to the light here. But you all seem to be heading away from it.
My friend, you do not want to approach that light. Though it may be tempting, there are many demons from whence we just came.
I understand. Thank you for the wise words of caution. I do appreciate your kindness to a fair traveler. Seems you have injured among you, and are you the only survivors?
We cannot be sure. We were the only ones who managed to break free via spellcraft, but there could still be some trailing behind.
And you're certain there are no demons among you?
I'm certain.
You see, the question takes Gathmir slightly by surprise. Are there, in your experience, demons who take the form of mortals?
Demons are tricksome and monstrous, dangerous creature. I would not be surprised should a predator of mortal kind take the visage of its prey to lull it into a false sense of security. I don't know of any specific demons that do so, but I put nothing past an enemy.
He starts to respond, but all of you hear a war horn blow far behind you. It would seem we are running low on time, friend. If you would like to journey with us, you may, but we expect you to defend us as you would defend yourself.
I will cover your retreat then.
Very well.
Isolde will kind of step off the road to let them pass, or let the group pass, because they have something they want to do at the once everyone has passed.
Theo will press on.
Oswin is kind of trailing towards the back of the group, still sort of walking, but as I pass this new person, I just sort of glance up with sort of slightly distant eyes at them, just something new, but then I look back down.
I'm used to seeing broken and sad people in this world. That's not new.
Yeah, when you pass Brick, if you notice, I have done the math, and I can carry both this one-legged tabaxi and my new child, so I am carrying them both.
Coco kind of stirs a little bit as you're carrying him. Brick, do I get a sword now?
As soon as we can find one, yes.
Okay. My dad never lets me use weapons.
It's gonna have to be a small sword. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think you can have a full-size one.
I mean, I don't know. I think I can handle a greatsword.
The great axe on Brick's back is probably the size of Coco, just so we're clear.
Coco is in complete denial.
Fair enough. Just checking.
Give them a short sword, tell them it's a great sword.
I mean, he's got some hand axes. Like, he'd be like, you want to try this one to start?
See, Coco is struggling to even hold one hand axe in both hands.
No, that's how all children start. It's fine.
At the back of the group, what does Isolde do?
Yeah, so once everyone has passed, since we're on some kind of like road, you said it was a road or a path, I am going to cast darkness on the path to make it maybe a little harder to continue following, maybe just throw them off a little bit. With this many people, it's going to be hard to not get tracked and chased, but even if it just slows them down for like 2 minutes, I'll leave a patch of magical darkness behind.
Okay.
And then I'll bring up the rear.
The group travels for a few hours before it becomes clear that the majority of the survivors that are trailing behind you, Theo, are exhausted.
Right. I think that's enough distance for today. We're going to need to set up off the path. Try to conceal ourselves during the night. And Theo would like to scout the immediate area for a suitable spot to camp that would be sufficiently hidden, at least from anybody who goes down the road.
Okay. Give me a survival check.
Can do.
Maybe not. That's a 9.
Can Kerrigan help Theo with that task?
You may.
My survival was a 13.
There's a small clearing tucked away off the path. It seems to give you enough space to stage everybody while still having the perimeter secured. And there are many trees you could set up scouts within.
All right.
The terrain you are entering is swamp-like, however.
Though not good for bedding down.
It's not perfect.
I think it might be the best we can get right now. Theo will start leading everybody to this clearing.
Okay. Those who are seasoned members of the Veil Guard, some of whom you've gone out on expeditions with, Theo, they start to gather some sticks, twigs, to set up a central fire, while others tend to the wounded, and others still stay at the perimeter of the clearing so as to set up security of sorts.
As we walk into the clearing, as the hours have passed to become a little more, processed what has happened, I've become a little more aware of our situation and the fact that I should be a little more present. Sort of something telling me almost like, just process this later. You have to get to somewhere safe. As we walk into this clearing, can I sort of deduce if anything was coming towards us or would find us, in what direction they most likely would come?
You want to tap into your intuition to do this?
No, I think at this point, I think it's just my natural just perception and just looking around what direction the enemy crew would come towards us.
Give me an investigation check.
Okie-dokie. Investigation. Click. That is an 18. No, 14? Hold on. Wait, what? Okay, something weird happened just now. It rolled a 13 and then it glitched and rolled another dice. It was a 13, so it's an 18.
Okay. You come to the same conclusion that several of the scouts have. Your southernmost entry of the clearing is most likely the easiest side for you to be hit from. And it seems as though they've already started to set up traps and have doubled up support on that side. The other sides are not exposed, however, that side is heavily defended.
I'm going to walk over there and just go a little further into that area, in that direction. I'm sort of like, I'm still sort of in a daze, but I'm more aware, and I'm just like, I need to help. I need to do something. So I'm going to go in that direction, away from where the traps are, and a little further out. And I want to set up an alarm.
Okay. How long does that last?
It's 8 hours. It takes 11. I'm going to do the minute cast. I'm actually going to use a spell slot to do it.
Okay.
No, I can't. I don't have it prepared. I can only do it as a ritual. So it'll take me 11 minutes to do this.
All right. Some of the remaining Veil Guard watch you about 20 feet away as you conduct this ritual. What does it look like as your magic is starting to kind of surge in this moment?
Well, with the staff, the quarterstaff I have, I'm going to have it sort of there are wrappings around the quarterstaff, and I'm going to sort of just move it across the ground in the pattern that it needs to set up this sort of... It's a 20-foot cube that I can set up, so I'm going to be setting it up in sort of the best way possible to cover the most ground, and so that the top of the quarterstaff is moving across the ground with some wisps going around it as I'm concentrating on setting up this perimeter. I'm choosing to do a mental alarm so as not to alert whatever might be coming towards us that we know that they're there. And it's sort of a very smooth movements that I'm doing, but I'm sort of almost in a trance.
Okay. Back in the clearing during this ritual, Gathmir takes a seat on a log not far from the fire, looks over toward you, Brick. How are you settling in this new environment? I understand you came from another community not far from here.
So Brick, when we decided we were settling in this clearing, has put his tabaxi with the other wounded and kind of just was like, okay, we're good. Like, you could try to make them as comfy as he could, and then he just kind of was like, all right, standing around, waiting for somebody to tell him what to do. But yeah, he'll be like, I mean, things happen. This is life. Sometimes forts fall. Actually, a lot of times forts fall now that I say it out loud. How are you doing? Are you okay? Do you need to talk? Is that what this is?
I've just watched many who I considered to be allies die prematurely. Yes, this is an aspect of life. Still troubling. But I look to the future in hopes that someday things like this will not be so common.
That's an excellent goal to have, for sure, Zeus. You can see Brick's kind of like, this is how the world works, buddy. I'm not sure what you're drinking, but okay. He's just kind of awkwardly gonna pat Gathmir on the shoulder a couple times. And then he's gonna see if anyone has a task for him.
You see that there are several still gathering wood and clearing off rocks that are in the clearing so as to prepare it for people to lie down comfortably, or as comfortably as they could in this scenario.
Yeah, he would like to assist with that to get out of any more conversations about feelings.
Okay. Harrigan, while they are preparing the clearing for the night, what are you doing?
Kerrigan is going to post up in a tree kind of close by to camp and keep watch as long as possible, at least until someone takes over for him, so that he can get at least a little sleep, and doing his best to stay as invisible as possible for anyone who might wander by.
The sounds of the forest are gentle You train your ears to listen for anything out of the ordinary, aside from the scurrying of small animals and the wind rippling through the forest. It is a quiet night, for now.
And he's going to ready his crossbow just in case.
After some time, the traps are in place, the alarm is set up. Rations are being cooked over the fire, and the survivors have started to gather around the fire. Some have decided to get a head start on rest. Theo, where are you?
After everybody had started settling in and doing their tasks in the area to get it secure, Theo actually has placed himself by the main fire. He had gotten back from a hunt, which I'd imagine had taken him at least the better part of a day before all this happened, so he's actually starting to get pretty exhausted, but he's been pushing himself to keep everybody safe. So once everybody's kind of doing their own thing, he sits by the fire and he actually starts to take some time to inspect his weapons, make sure that there's no telltale signs of breakage in his bow, that kind of thing. And then he spends some time writing in a journal that he's got about the events. And he does that pretty much the majority of the evening.
And where does Isolde find themselves?
So, they don't really know any of these people, but this seems as good a direction to travel as any other. And plus, they might find a demon to kill. So they're actually going to take their spell book, and as Strokey Chinbeard wizards do, walk through the camp, looking at each face and looking for any signs that any of these people might be demons in disguise. Do they have any training? No. Are they suspicious? Always.
Okay. You manage to scan through every face in the camp, and although some of them are less attractive than others, it does not seem like there are any demons hiding amongst you.
Being unattractive isn't a crime, so I'll let them live. So, Isolde, at that point, would probably just make their way over to the main campfire and kind of staying to the side, because again, they don't know any of these people, but observing the people, trying to figure out who the leaders are, who here has strength, who, what the dynamic that they walked into is, and just kind of observing everybody's interactions, but otherwise largely keeping to themselves unless they're addressed.
Okay. You do notice that this older gentleman by the fire, who's wearing clerical robes, seems to be muttering to himself. It appears to be a prayer of sorts.
Can I see what god he worships?
Give me a religion check.
I'm proficient in this. Dirty 20.
It appears that in Gathmir's hand, there's a very small symbol of Lysera, the Thorned Huntress. He seems to be praying to a deity of the lands for protection while within this forest, which in the past would have been her domain.
Good to know. So, religious man, probably should stay away from him. And also, I have to look around. Is there anybody with just loose valuables that nobody's paying attention to?
Depends on what you would consider to be valuables.
Things with financial value,
It's not a whole lot here.
Value. Okay, well, nobody gets robbed then. That's all. I'll just watch and listen.
Good. As the night drags on, and each of you eventually take your own forms of rest, whatever that might look like, we're going to take a 5-minute break.
Alrighty.
Sounds good.
And we're back. Who among you would be taking the first watch, staying up as the rest of the survivors are starting to fall asleep?
I feel like I feel like Oswin would probably stay up. If anything, kind of as a watch, but also kind of because she isn't really able to go to sleep yet.
Isolde would also take first watch. These people all look like they've had a lot going on. Maybe Isolde could help out. They're not as tired as everyone else.
Can I do some, along with being on watch, can I also do a little drawing?
Sure. What exactly are you drawing?
I'm going to be taking out the sketchbook that I always have on me, and I'm going to be drawing Koresh. I'm just sort of sketching out Koresh, his features, his face, and as I do, I'm also going to I do a little doodle of the symbol of the his deity, just to sort of work through what I'm feeling.
Give me an Arcana check.
That is a 9.
You draw the constellation in the shape of a hand reaching upward, the symbol of Salir, the dancer of stars. And for a moment, you almost expect some sort of reaction from the symbol, as if this reawakening of divine magic has changed the rules for everyone. But there is no reaction. There is no change. It's just a symbol. And now, after much time has passed, cannot see the constellations above either, as dark clouds have closed the wound left behind by a fragment of Orvian's magic at Fort Dwin.
I breathe out, just close the book, just look up, watching the woods.
One of the Veil Guard stands abruptly, and he turns toward you, Isolde, seeing that you are somewhat aware of your surroundings. I'm gonna go take a piss. If anything happens, just, I don't know, come save me, I guess. I don't know.
Certainly. I wouldn't leave you to die.
You never know these days. And you see he turns and walks off out of the clearing into the brush.
Stay within 120 feet.
Yeah.
You know, for your own life. That man's gonna die.
Does Kerrigan see this person leave the camp from his tree?
Yes.
I'm gonna sneakily follow him just to make sure that he's not up to anything.
Okay.
What I was gonna do, but I was waiting to see if he left my vision, my range.
He definitely did.
Oh, 120 feet?
Yes.
Yeah, I also follow. I don't trust that man.
Okay.
Actually, do I see someone else is already following him?
Kerrigan, give me a stealth check.
That was a 13. Not the best stealth check for him.
Isolde, what is your passive perception?
11.
Oof. You do not see anybody else trailing.
Yeah, then I'm gonna also trail, keeping just 110 feet. Like I want to be just inside a line of sight of him.
I glance up as I see them walk out. I don't say anything.
I just give a little
acknowledging.
sign with my finger to my lips, and I'm just off.
You follow this individual for quite a while. It doesn't seem like he's aimlessly wandering. It seems like he's got a predetermined destination.
Even more sus.
And eventually he stops, finding a tree. It seems noticeably sick. The leaves have fallen off. It looks as though this tree is corrupted by some sort of energy seeping into its roots. He begins to carve a symbol into the tree.
Ooh. I try to identify the symbol as he's carving it. And also, point of order, have I had an opportunity for a short rest during all of this, unpacking, settling into camp, all of that?
I would say yes. Everyone at this point has had an opportunity to take a short rest.
Very important for Warlock. But yeah, I want to know what he's carving before he finishes it, if I can.
Sure. Give me another religion check.
Oh, still okay. 15.
And what languages do you speak?
Common, Draconic, and Elvish.
So this is an unfamiliar language. However, you do recognize the font, if you will, to be something that has been painted on walls, carved into bodies, and hoisted upon flags throughout the regions that border the Hollow Wilds. It is a symbol of the Pale Hunt, a demon lord that roams those lands hunting corrupted creatures of his own creation alongside the hobgoblins under his command.
Cool. So before he even gets a chance to finish it, I step around the tree and Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
I don't want him to finish that. And would I have advantage because he doesn't detect me?
I'd say yes.
Okay. So the first one was a 15. Oh, and the second was an 8. So 15 to hit.
What does that look like as it hits him in the back?
Yeah, so as I step around the tree, if I guess only our rogue can see me because I don't know that you're there, but you can kind of see like suddenly kind of in the darkness, my body is just like covered in eyes. Every part that you can see, there are eyes like looking outward. And as I channel this magic, it is just uncomfortable to look at. Like it is not something like you want to avert your gaze as I fire this blast off at him of just pure like darkness, a straight line beam at him that then kind of dissolves into this gross nothingness and then disappears.
All right. You watch as this man crumples over, completely dead. A knife still embedded into the bark of the tree, the symbol unfinished. Is there any reaction to this from Kerrigan?
Kerrigan's gonna hop out of the tree and try to land like close by. Just be like, why did you do that? Crossbow pointed directly at Isolde.
I gesture to the symbol as if it's all the proof that is necessary.
Is there enough of the symbol for Kerrigan to try to discern what it is?
Yes.
Do you need a religion check for that?
Yeah, go ahead and give me either a history or a religion check.
I don't want you to get this wrong.
All right, well, religion is a 4.
To your eyes, this looks like the carving of a madman. It doesn't hold any specific meaning to you.
If it is in Infernal at all, I do speak and read Infernal.
It is not.
Right. What are you talking about? That's just
It
some
is the
random
mark
carving.
of a demon lord.
And how do we know that?
Have you not seen this mark plastered all over the place? I kind of like go beside it with my finger and like draw out the missing part so that I can show him kind of the full, like what the symbol would be when he was finished without actually finishing it. We do not suffer demons amongst us or their servants, or I do not.
No, but now we have no idea what he was planning because he is dead.
And leaving him alive is just as dangerous. For all we know,
Yes.
that symbol would have caused his lord to know exactly where we are.
You could have stopped him from drawing it.
And hindsight being 2020, I am but a humble traveler. I saw someone carving demonic sigils and I reacted. I'm not some trained knight.
I mean, from the looks of what you did, you seem more demonic than he did.
Nearby, something moves. It is a very quick movement, something skittering along the ground. Both of you give me perception checks.
Okay, perception. Don't fail me now. 8.
9. Ugh, my passive's better than that.
Same.
There is faint clicking coming from the distance from some sort of creature. And then you hear almost identical sounds from the opposite direction. You're being watched from just outside your vision. Something is obscured by the trees and bushes around you. But you
No.
are
I can see in both magical and non-magical darkness 120 feet. Are they still outside of my vision?
They're obscured. You can see their movement, but you don't know what specifically it is.
Really hoping that would save me. I suggest we have this argument back at camp.
That's fair, but I am not letting you out of my sight.
Understood. And Isolde starts to back away, kind of keeping a little bit of magic on their fingertips, almost like preparing Eldritch Blast if something jumps out at them, but backing away, trying to move towards camp.
Give me an investigation check, both of you.
21.
18.
The Eldritch Blast left a rather nasty hole in the back of this individual, but underneath fabric that has been singed away, there's another mark on the back of this man. It appears to be scarring from a brand. From here, you can only see the edge of it.
And it would need the body.
Well, maybe not. I'm just gonna cut the back of the clothing open to try to see the hole mark.
This man is most definitely a member of the Church of Zold, a follower of the Crimson Hierophant. This brand is identical to that of the warlocks who were meant to be executed.
Okay, Isolde, I take back what I said, but we should not be out here alone any longer.
No, I'm still backing away. You should come with me, though.
We need to move fast. And then Kerrigan is just
And
gonna
we run.
dash off.
The two of you make it back to camp very quickly. Osmond,
Oh.
you see them run into camp, looking flustered.
I sort of tilt my head. What?
I like your drawing. It's very cute. Also, guard evil blew him up and things in the woods. You're
We've
caught up.
been-
That's all.
What?
Everything.
We've been infiltrated. We have no time to discuss this. Where is everyone?
Has anything happened with my alarm?
No,
We should gather up anyone who is able-bodied, who knows how to fight. I can hold my own somewhat. I'm not the best, but I'll assist as well, seeing as how my life is on the line as well. Maybe anyone who knows how to fight should be in on this conversation. We shouldn't upset the common folk yet.
I would prefer to keep this conversation to those of us that we know for sure are not in league with the demons.
Well, who do you know that's for sure not in league with the demons, other than me?
Where is Brick and Theobald?
Theo's probably sleeping by now.
I guarantee Brick's asleep.
Isolde, go get Brick. I will get Theo.
I don't know those people.
Okay, go find the person with the giant great axe. They probably have a small child with them. Wake them. Bring them here.
Well, I go to find the guy with the big great axe.
I got great news. There's only one green tiefling in this camp. It's not super hard.
Yeah. To wake Brick, I'm gonna just like poke you with the nun finger, like the little bony finger that goes between the ribs.
Brick would like to grapple.
You win. I have a strength of 8. It's over. Actually, strength of 7. Excuse me.
All right, Brick, you quickly react to something poking you in the side, and you find yourself atop Isolde.
Hello.
Brick blinks at you for a couple seconds.
Bad guys in the woods having a meeting with some friends of yours. You don't have to kill me. This seems like a bit of an overreaction.
Or why not? Brick kind of pushes Coco, who'd been next to him, over towards one of the other people that is sleeping nearby. Like, here, hold this for a second. And grabs his great axe and is like, sure. What friends?
The one that is very sneaky and the one that draws. That's all I
Brick follows you. Like, we're having this walk and talk. He has no idea who that is.
Well, by the way, I'm
not a clue.
I've never
Most
met you
of us
before.
still haven't exchanged names.
Yeah, like
Yeah, we haven't
Not at
actually
all.
exchanged
I
it.
have genuinely no clue who any
We don't
of
really
you
are.
are.
actually
don't.
know each other.
Brick
So
is not smart enough to put these pieces together.
do we just get everybody up together and then everybody's like, I don't know what any of these people are called?
But no, Brick will nod when you give him your name and just be like, "That's cool. It's pretty. It's old. I like it."
This is
I'm
when
Brick.
you keep your yes, thank you.
Brick. It's just Brick.
That's kind of what I expected from looking at you, so I'm glad to see my expectations are meeting reality.
Aren't they just? Okay. Show me the big bad thing in the woods.
Oh, it's already dead. I killed it.
So why am I awake?
There's other big bad things, but the first one's dead. Anyway, they'll tell you all about it. They know you better than I am. They're your friends.
I like to imagine, because this camp is not that big, we reached these people and Brick is just standing there like, who the fuck?
Right. But I led you back to them.
I'm kind of confused still about gathering because it was a very quick exchange, and right now Oz does not have quick brain cells right now. With a soul running off, I'm gonna sort of reach up and grab Kerrigan's arm for a moment and go, "Wait, I'm sorry. They spoke very quickly. What's going on?"
So, we followed someone into the woods who,
The other
yes,
guard, I saw them leave.
and they went pretty far from camp, farther than you would need to just go relieve yourself. And they started drawing a symbol into this dead tree, at which point our new companion here decided that was enough to kill the person.
What?
But it's fine, because we discovered that they do indeed follow the demon that just recently destroyed our little camp. So I'm assuming they were in league with those warlocks we decided to spare.
And the Crimson One? In league with the Crimson One. They killed a follower of someone who thrives on people dying.
Unfortunately.
I assume we're all back like at this recap, so everybody's hearing it.
Correct.
No, this was when you ran off to get Brick. I had
okay.
grabbed Kerrigan
Understood.
just because I
So far,
didn't
no
know
one's
what was
grabbed
going on.
Theo, though.
Literally, no one knows
Yeah,
what's going on.
Right. Well, let's get everybody in one place.
We
We
should-
arrive.
We should go grab the other one really quick.
Why don't we
'Cause-
all just go to him?
Yeah.
That way we don't have to go find him and then bring him back, and we can all just
That works.
yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out why or who. I mean, aside from us being with Gathmir before everything started, why are we all? Why did you?
You are the only people that I can be 100% sure are most likely not in league with these demons. So it just felt most appropriate to only mention this to you.
And Gathmir?
I'm still not 100% sure. He's probably safe, but just to be on the safe side.
I don't say much else, but I get up anyway and follow suit.
So Theo has all of us standing around him when he wakes up.
How is that for a wake-up call?
Theo immediately has his blades out.
Everyone attacking as soon as they wake up. It just feels really unnecessary.
I glance over to him, to her, them. Glance over to them. We were just attacked, and the fort was destroyed, and we live in a time of death. That seems strange to you?
Nobody here's ever woken up next to someone that they don't want to murder, ever.
No.
This is usually how I wake up when I don't wake up on my own.
Yeah, do you
Never
not
be too careful.
do you not sleep with a weapon just at the ready?
I don't usually
Yeah,
need
I
to.
don't- I haven't slept in. I can't think of the last time I took a full sleep. Feels really
Ooh.
unnecessary.
That sounds fun. Can you teach me how to do it?
No, you're not an elf.
Oh. Anyway, we're all here and something's in the woods. What's up?
Oh, that's why you're standing around my sleeping pack.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we may have brought more than just survivors with us to this forest.
Yes, so the guard tried to sneak off. I saw him starting to carve demonic runes into a tree, so I killed him. As one should do when demons or demon worshippers are around. And I think I'm in trouble for that. I'm not 100% sure yet.
Why?
Because apparently he serves someone who likes it when you kill them. I don't really understand. It doesn't really matter. He's dead and he's gone and we've moved on.
Not exactly in the position to keep prisoners, so I don't see any problem with that.
Well, we may want to be worried about the other sounds in the forest.
Oh, there was chittering. Yes, that's probably a problem. We did just leave the gates undefended, didn't we?
And we head back in that gateward direction.
We're really having trouble getting everybody to go.
And nothing is pinged for me?
What does the alarm sound like when it goes off?
Well, it's a mental alarm, so it just informs me that something has happened.
What does that sound like to you?
It's probably sounds something like a bell, or like a feeling. Let's sound more like a nagging feeling that is like a pulse.
2 pulses emit from the alarm.
Echoes. They're on their way. 2 of them from what I could feel.
Oh,
Point.
fellow wizard.
What direction?
From the direction that we came, the one that was most likely.
Yeah, Brick
where
just
they were
heads in
gonna
that
come
direction.
from.
He's got what he
Yep.
needs.
We're running.
Yeah, Theo's up. He's got his bow out. He sleeps basically ready to go.
Okay. Everybody give me perception checks. We'll take an average.
Perception. That's persuasion.
Whoa.
There we go.
Worry not, everyone. I got a 5.
21.
14.
Plus my 5.
22 for Kerrigan.
That's our average pretty decent.
Yeah, not bad.
Okay. What is happening? Somebody is like banging on a wall nearby. I don't know. Anyway, you guys break through the tree line toward this southernmost point where there's been an alarm set ahead of time to alert you of anything that is approaching camp. And you see 2 very unnatural creatures crawling around through a swamp-like terrain, seemingly pointed in your direction, almost as if they can sense something in this direction. Who among you do you think has the most experience with quote-unquote monsters or creatures that live close to the wilds?
Isolde, probably.
Either Isolde or Theo, honestly.
Isolde only because a matter of age.
Well, I don't know anything about Isolde, but I look over to Theo to see, sort of with a questioning look, I'm like, have you seen these things before?
Theo, there's a pair of basilisks about 50 feet away from the group.
Theo inhales sharply as he just says, basilisks. Nasty creatures.
Those are... okay.
Do
Those are
they
bad.
look like just basilisks, or is there something off about them?
From this distance, it seems like they are standard basilisks.
My experience, you don't want to get too close to them, but if they approach the camp, who knows how many people they could ensnare.
Well, sounds like we know what we need to do with them.
Bit of crappy day, and it just keeps getting worse.
My day's been relatively fine, for anyone who's asking.
He glares over at him for a moment. Them for a
No.
Oh, we should probably kill these things, right?
Yeah, how far away are they again? Could you remind me?
One of them is about 40 feet away from you, Brick. The other is about 57 feet.
That's so specific, but alright, thank you so much. And they're just like they know where we are. They're focused in. Is what
They
I'm getting
seem-
from this.
They seem to not be focused necessarily on the group. There's something else that they are sensing. As of right now, you guys have not been spotted by them.
Shall we partake of a little surprise?
Let's do that.
Might as well.
All
You're
right,
starting to fade into the brush.
everybody pick one.
Can I figure out what they might be more focused on?
It does not seem possible.
Okay. I try to hide
I
behind
will
a
tell
tree.
you, though, they are definitely pointed toward the direction of camp. So something within camp is setting off alarms in their heads.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, we can't let them get to
Nope.
camp.
Right, well, Kerrigan is not going to hide and is just going to steady aim and shoot his crossbow and try to sneak attack one of them. Probably the one that is furthest away.
All right.
Brick can't steady aim, but also wants to fire a short bow at one of them.
So one that is closer or further away?
Further as well.
Okay. Let's start with Kerrigan.
It's a 20 to hit.
That does hit. And then Brick, you can also go ahead and roll yours now.
That's a 6 to hit, so I'm guessing that doesn't.
It does not. With
That's
that,
fine.
you guys can go ahead and roll for initiative and hold your values. Kerrigan, what did you get for damage?
So that is an 8 for the regular damage from the crossbow, and then 10 from the sneak attack.
You can launch the map on D&D Beyond, and I'll take your values in just a second.
We're on above VTT, right?
The map in D&D Beyond. If you look at your character sheet in the top right corner, there's a play button. If you hover over it, it says launch game. You'll click
Oh.
that and it'll take you right where you want to go.
Okay, 1 second.
I use D&D Beyond for combat tracking exclusively now.
It's fun.
Sorry, which button am I looking for?
It's just the play button. It's right next to Campaign Ashen Vale. It'll just be a little triangle on its side, launch game, when you hover over it.
Oh, cool.
Ugh.
Nice.
All right. So an arrow flies through the cover of trees and smacks into the first basilisk toward the left. And do you not see your? I was going to say, do you
Already
not
up
see
there.
your token toward the
don't.
bottom?
Oh, I'm there twice now. Okay, sorry, I had to zoom out. Ignore me.
No, you're good. You're good. So that arrow flies into the basilisk and it screeches. They are going to be under surprise. Now, as far as initiative goes, who got between 21 and 25?
25 for Theo.
16 to 20.
18 for Kerrigan.
Yeah. Whoops. Sorry.
Ele-
Wait. I got a. No, wait. You said
11
16
to
to 20?
15.
Never mind. I got a 15.
And I got a
I'm
14.
so surprised.
And what did Isolde get?
A 5. See y'all at the end of combat when they're both dead already.
That's actually kind of crazy. I rolled 11s for both basilisks. Okay. So they are under surprise. They will not act on this first round. We have Theo up first with Kerrigan on deck.
All right. Theo is going to. Which of the two was already injured?
Basilisk 1.
Okay, Basilisk 1. Okay, Theo's going to hone in on that one. Let's see. So yeah, Theo as a bonus action is going to use one of his reuses of Hunter's Mark. So his favorite enemy to target it. And then we'll take a shot with his longbow at it. Alrighty. And let me double check something because I'm also a Gloomstalker. So here's my question. Do these guys rely on dark vision to see in the dark?
They do.
Alright. Am I entirely in darkness?
Yes.
Then I am invisible to it, unless it has some other way to see me.
It doesn't seem to be aware of your location.
Okay then. So this would be with advantage, yes?
Correct.
Alrighty. That's what I like to hear. Alright, advantage. Alright, that's a 26.
Okay. Roll for damage.
Alright. Alright, so just off the bow alone, 10 damage, and then Hunter's Mark is another d6. 5 damage on top of that. In addition, I'm going to add on one of my Dread Ambusher damages, which is an extra 2d6 psychic. Alright, so 10 piercing, 5 force, 6 psychic damage, so 21 total.
All right. Again, the basilisk screams out in pain, and you can see poison splashing onto the ground around it from these various wounds. The other basilisk does turn in your general direction. It might not see you, but it definitely does see the rest of you.
Yeah, and Theo is going to start kind of moving in kind of between the brush as he just says to the rest, don't let them get too close, and is going to kind of move up here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. Yeah, that's plenty of movement speed, even if I got a reduction.
And the first basilisk that I hit with the crossbow, its speed is reduced by 10.
Okay.
Don't know if that stacks with another person who also has that weapon mastery. Oh.
It just
mind.
says
It says it is as part
yeah,
of the slow feature.
Doesn't exceed 10 feet.
Okay. That is it for Theo.
That'll bring us to Kerrigan with Oz on deck.
All right, I'm gonna target the. We'll do the other basilisk, number 2. And first round of combat, I have advantage with assassinate, and we're gonna sneak attack that second basilisk. It's a 13 to hit.
It just falls short, hitting the dirt.
All right. And then I'm going to use one of my cunning actions to hide in the brush over here.
Okay.
I do as a bonus action.
That's all for Kerrigan, right?
Yep, that is all for Kerrigan.
Okay. Oswin, Brick on deck.
Okay, so Oswin is actually going to cast mage armor on herself.
Could you describe what that looks like?
So she's gonna touch her chest and the crystal that's hanging around her neck. And when she does, this sort of faint glow, sort of this faint, like, sort of yellowish, goldish light glow covers her body. And almost like after covering it up, it like solidifies. And she has this sort of hue of golden color now over her body to indicate that she is magically armored. And now she has an armor class of 12. So which is great. So that's her action. She's going to move. The stuff on the map is what is on the terrain, right? Okay. So she has her 30-foot movement speed, and she's going to move sort of, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Sort of ducking behind here.
Okay, you duck behind a mound of roots.
Mm-hmm. She can't do anything else because she can't like hide or anything, any of Teiko's actions, but she's just trying to put something between her and the basilisks.
That will take us to Brick with Isolde on deck.
Woo! Alright, step 1. Brick would like to rage.
Alright.
And as he does, let's see what happens on the wild magic surge table. It's a D8? Yeah, it's a D8. That's gonna be... I get to teleport as a bonus action every turn until my rage ends. Okay. Interesting. That's fine. We'll make that work. So Brick teleports 5, 10, 15, 20, 20 here. Just sort of out of nowhere. And that's his bonus action. And for his action, he was told not to go right up to these things, so he's just going to start chucking stuff at it. And his first one's going to be a hand axe. quick question. Can I recklessly attack if it's not melee?
Yes.
I'm going to do that then. So that first one's a 13, but the second is a 6. Yep, 13. Does that hit?
It does not.
Shocking.
You see one of your hand axes flies into the shallow water in front of you.
Alright, so is this thing, am I like up on a hill and that thing is below me?
No, it's about level. There's just a bit of water between the two of you.
Do I think basilisks can swim?
It is shallow water, but you're not sure.
Wrinkle back up to here. And that's his turn.
Isolde with Theo on deck.
Yeah, so Basilisk number 2 looking a little too healthy. And I would like to contribute to that not being the case anymore. So I will need an intelligence saving throw from it.
That is a 9.
Theo's 14. So I cast Phantasmal Force surrounding it with the eyes of my patron all looking in at it, because that's what creepy eldritch things do. And kind of trying to lock it in place with nowhere to go, nowhere to escape. And then it also takes psychic damage. That is 9 points of psychic damage, as it is surrounded by the eyes of an eldritch being watching it.
Okay.
And then I'll go boop, ba-doop, 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 ba-doop. There. Yeah, that's 6. So that's my turn.
Just to confirm, it's not like restrained currently, correct?
So it's not restrained. It does say the target treats the phantasm as if it were real and rationalizes any illogical outcomes from interacting with it. So it will assume that it is surrounded by these terrifying eyes wherever it goes. It may be afraid to move, I don't know. That's
Gotcha. Okay. All right, so we're at the top of initiative round 2. That's Theo with Kerrigan on deck.
All right. Theo is going to keep peppering the basilisk he has marked. He's going to take another shot. I'm double checking this because I just want to make sure. Yeah, if I'm in darkness, I am still invisible to these creatures. So I will take another shot at the same basilisk. 22.
All right, that hits.
All right, 8 from the longbow. From the hunter's mark, another 2. So 10 on that one. And Theo's basically just weaving through the trees, making sure that they can't at least hone in on a location, even if they can't see him. He's essentially just trying to confuse them as much as possible. So he's going to take another movement over here. Still on the map, but that will be his turn.
All right. That'll take us to Kerrigan. Osmond on deck.
All right, Kerrigan is gonna steady aim, and then sneak attack against Basilisk number 1, the one that's already damaged. A 21 to hit.
That hits.
So that's 5 damage from the crossbow and 5 damage from sneak. And its speed is reduced by 10. And then as my bonus action, I'm going to try to re-hide in the same spot since I can't move.
All right.
And if you need a stealth score for that hide, it's not great. It's a 13. And that is the end of my turn.
Okay. Osmond, break on deck.
So I'm gonna sort of go over this way so I have view of this guy, Basilisk 2, and I'm gonna do a Ray of Frost on him. Yeah, that's a 9.
Yes, straight to the trees.
Yep, tree gets covered in frost. Panic, and I go back over here. And that's all I'm doing, because I don't really have any bonus action abilities. Well, I do have one, but I'm not going to use it.
All right. Brick will go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's here now. He's had enough.
Oh.
He's done his best to resist getting right up in there, and now he will recklessly attack the basilisk with his great axe. Let's see if he manages to hit anything. He does not. He got a 12. God, Brick, I'm ashamed of you. You're disappointing me right now. Bonus action, he teleports 30 feet back.
Okay.
Yeah. Isn't it
That's
just?
convenient. Wild magic book.
Yeah, if nothing else, you rolled really nice for this encounter.
I mean, I got that going for me, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
irritatedly stared at the basilisk he cannot hit.
So just so I'm clear, the speed reduction was not stacking, so it's just one instance of reduction by 10 feet, correct?
Correct, yep.
That was only 25, sorry, 30.
So that brings us to Basilisk 1. Kerrigan, you are currently hiding, correct?
Yes.
All right, so Brick and Osmond, go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw as the Basilisk glares at both of you.
Here it comes.
Constitution saving. So does this stuff of roots, that doesn't give me any kind of cover?
Not unless you actively
Okay.
take the hide action.
Yeah. Yeah, that gets got it. So Constitution?
Yes.
Like, okay.
I was just seeing
that's
if
a
I got
14.
advantage. I don't think I do. That's a 17.
Okay, you guys both feel some unfamiliar magic wash over your body, but you're able to stave off the effects. It doesn't seem to take hold.
Sweet.
This basilisk snarls, and it will hold its ground there. It seems to be locked on you, Osmond. You are the closest to it. That's going to bring us to basilisk number 2,
Fun.
who does not have speed reduction, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Again, Osmond,
Oh,
And-
great.
Isolde,
Fun.
you do not have any sort of invisibility or anything like that. You're not hiding, correct?
No, but he is, to his appearance at least, surrounded by eyeballs. Can he still see through that? Because he thinks he's seeing them.
And that's fair. I'm gonna. That's a
the
tricky
phantasm
one.
force, that's the illusion.
Correct.
Because it even says like they'll rationalize any illogical outcomes. For example, if they step through an illusory bridge and survive the fall, they'll believe the bridge exists and something else caused them to fall.
It is a tricky spell to interpret.
Yeah, it's like inducing the restrained condition without inducing the restrained condition, which is, Let's see. Give me 1 second to look into the spell a little bit.
No worries. I just want to make this basilisk hallucinate eyeballs until he dies.
I
Which spell did you use?
Phantasmal force. Eldritch nonsense gets complicated.
Flash. It's flashing back to its years in middle school when he accidentally spilled something on his shirt and everybody was looking at him and he's getting all embarrassed.
I'm just giving him a glimpse of what my patron looks like. Enjoy, buddy.
If I remember, they can study the illusion.
Yeah,
I was
they have
just about to say that.
supervision.
So that's what the basilisk is going to do. It's going to roll a study against your save DC.
Yeah, that's a 14.
You see it attempt to take a step forward and immediately recoil back. You're not sure exactly what the illusion is doing around it, but it seems to have frightened it enough to where it does not move out of this space. That's going to take us to Isolde with Theo on deck.
So at the start of my turn, it hasn't saved from the illusion, so it does take the damage from it, which is 10 points of psychic damage. And then Isolde, in an attempt to, I don't know, they're not going to be that helpful. They're going to shoot an Eldritch Blast at Basilisk 2 as well. Screw that guy. Yeah.
Screw that guy in
That's
particular.
a 12 to hit.
Fortunately, that is a miss.
Okay, and bonus action, I'm just going to try to shove him with my telekinesis. Because I haven't used this yet. So that is a DC of, why does it just say, why doesn't it tell me what the DC is? 8 plus charisma. So a DC 12 strength saving throw.
It does succeed with a 16.
And Isolde is just gonna boop boop as far away as possible.
Theo, Kerrigan on deck.
Did you not want us to take a break?
We can if you'd like to.
I mean, how's everyone else feel?
I'm good.
I'm fine.
Okay,
Also
I'm
fine.
good too. All right, we are going to keep on attacking this injured basilisk, the one I've been focusing. So another attack. Being a gloomstalker in the dark is a little busted. 25 to hit for nice 12 piercing plus 2 from the hunter's mark.
All right. You watch as the first basilisk takes another blow, and it seemingly overtakes them. They fall over, lifeless.
Okay. With no other evidence to the contrary, I will use my bonus action to move my hunter's mark onto the remaining basilisk. And once again, make a move. I'll kind of go right here. And that'll be it for me.
All right, Kerrigan. Oswin on deck.
All right, steady aim with the crossbow. It's a 20 to hit.
Yep.
6 damage from the crossbow. And 6 from the sneak attack. And its speed is reduced by 10. And then I'm going to bonus action to hide again.
All right, give me just a second. All right, I believe we were on... Is that Theo?
No, we just did Kerrigan.
Kerrigan, sorry. Did you have anything else, Kerrigan?
No, but I lied. I don't hide. Just realized steady aim is a bonus action, so I do not hide.
Okay. Oswin, Brick on deck.
I'm going to move over 5, 10, 15, 20. No, 20, 25. Okay. And I'm going to actually do I'm going to do kind of pissed right now. I'm going to do a second level magic missile.
All right.
So that is deal how many? 4 darts that don't miss. I am right? Yeah. There is no hit with magic
Yes,
missile. It's an
correct.
automatic hit, right? Okay.
It is a
So
break glass in case of emergency for wizards everywhere.
2, 4, 6, 9. 9 points of force damage.
Okay. The basilisk cries out in pain. Everybody give me a perception check.
17.
10.
24.
11.
14.
It becomes painfully clear that something responds in the distance.
Great.
Oh boy. Do these look like young basilisks to Theo?
They do not. They look like adult basilisks.
Does the response sound like the basilisks?
It does not.
That's even worse. Oh boy.
There is a sound mixed into this roar, which is animalistic, of course, but there's definitely something you're not familiar with, a sound that you've never heard before. You're almost certain that you heard a lion, but there's something else layered on top of it.
A lion? Oh god.
Anything else from Oswin?
No, I've pretty much done everything I could.
Brick will move up to within 20 feet, which is this one if I remember correctly, and chuck another hand axe recklessly. He has yet to do anything this fight, so he's feeling pretty shitty. Well, that's a 24. Math is hard. So, I think that one hits.
Yes.
Yay! He feels a little bit better. That's gonna be 4, 5, 6, 7, plus what's my bonus from rage damage? I haven't hit before, so it's hard to say. Hold on, I'm just reading it real quick. It's shown in the rage damage column.
It should be 2.
Thank you.
So-
9. So that makes 9 hits, and then for his bonus action, believe it or not, he teleports.
Hmm.
It's
The
all
numbers
he really
gets-
can do for a bonus action right now.
Fair enough. Okay. That is going to bring us to Basilisk 2. It's going to take the study action. And what is the DC?
14.
Oof, unfortunate. That's a 13. This basilisk is growing considerably frustrated. It attempts to move around in an attempt to try to get away from the eyes. So it's kind of frantically moving. Give me a d6 roll, Isolde.
Oh, you'd love to see it. Let's see. There is a d6. That's a 5.
So it is moving in a random direction determined by you. It is going to move that way, and it's going to end its turn there. That will take us to Isolde with Theo on deck. I will tell you, you hear something approaching through the brush rapidly.
So, first it's going to take its phantasmal force damage because it still hasn't thrown that all. Really low at 3. Getting the sense we should probably dispatch this and prepare for the next horrible thing. So, I am going to do what every good warlock does, an Eldritch Blast my way out of the situation. That's a 15 to hit.
That just hits.
For a total of 10 force damage.
Okay, it is bloodied at this point, extremely low.
That Phantasmal Force really putting in some work right now.
Yeah, keeping Basilisk from staring at people.
You know what? Bonus action, I'm going to try to shove it 5 feet again. I could do that every round, and I have nothing to do with my bonus action right now. So that is a strength saving. Hold on. It is strength saving throw of a DC 12.
That is a 16.
It is not shoved. It just keeps, like, y'all watch, Isolde keeps doing, like, a shoving motion with their hands towards the basilisk. It's doing nothing. Like a bad Jedi. That's my turn.
Hard to tell anything's actually happening. It's thrashing around a lot from the phantasm.
Right, it's seeing things, and Isolde is, like, doing shoving motions, and it's bleeding from its nose for some reason. Like, hold on.
Okay. Well, Theo is going to try to finish it off. Let's see, what do I got left before I try to go all in? Yeah, I know something else is coming. I am not using my last spell slot. Alright, we're just going to hit it one more time. 25.
That definitely hits.
Dang.
So 8 plus Hunter's Mark of 5. So 13.
Okay, what does it look like as you kill the second basilisk?
So we're in pitch darkness, and honestly, it's hard to track down where Theo is. He's so used to moving around in the darkness unseen, and you guys just hear the arrows flying and they appear. But then, Kerrigan, you see in front of you, Theo kind of comes out from a shadow, his bow drawn as he just lets loose, and the arrow... Basically, the basilisk opened its mouth to screech again, but the arrow goes right through its throat.
All right.
And I still have Hunter's Mark up because it's a concentration, and I can keep moving it once I have another enemy. So I will end my turn.
Right.
So I'm not the only one who can attack from the shadows.
Years of practice as he kind of melds back into a shadow. You kind of have an idea where he is, but he's really good at blending in. Seriously, guys, Gloomstalkers are a little busted in the dark.
Through the brush, a very large creature appears, landing in this clearing across from you guys. You see a lion's head, and attached to the same body is the head of a goat and the head of a dragon, which identifies that mysterious roar you heard mixed with the lions. There is a chimera that appears. It is not up next in initiative. That would be Kerrigan with Osmond on deck.
Kerrigan just hears Theo swearing in Orcish.
All right. Then we are gonna, let's see. Yep, so steady aim with the crossbow on the chimera. Be a 17 to hit.
That hits.
So that's 12 damage from the crossbow, 6 from sneak, and its speed is reduced by 10. And that will end my turn.
Okay. Osmond, break on deck.
Yep. Okay. Seeing this new creature come out, I am still staying very far away from it. I do not do close combat much. So I'm actually going to Let's see. Well, you have not. Let's worry about that. Okay, I'm going to do. It's been damaged,
Yes.
Yep.
so I'm pissed off at this whole thing's happening. I just wanted time to figure out what was going on, and now these bastards are here. So I'm going to glare at it and do Toll the Dead. So it needs to make a Wisdom saving throw of 13.
Does it fail?
Okay, so it will now, since it has lost, missing any of its hit points, it will now take a 1d12 of damage. It takes 3 damage. 3 necrotic damage. Seriously. Seriously, dude. Ugh. And again, I really can't do much with my bonus action. So I'm just pretty much gonna maneuver, like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay still. Actually, I'm just gonna stay where I am. I'm cool with that. Stay where I am.
Yeah, quick question. Do we think Brick has ever seen one of these before?
No.
No, he has never. So he looks to the other people who told him not to go fight the basilisk up close and just kind of goes, Can I go in there? Is this another one to stay away from? Do we have any opinions?
I say go for it.
Yeah. You just hear Theo say, "Can't let it get to the camp."
Super helpful. Okay. Yeah, Brick unfortunately cannot make it that far, so he's gonna go 5, 10, 15, 20.
You can teleport in.
I could if I wanted to. That's another 20. Yeah, no, that would make sense. No, Brick is gonna stay here and try and lure it slightly closer. Brick doesn't know these people. He has no idea if anyone has up close capabilities besides him, but he's assuming we need it slightly closer. And then he's gonna chuck a spear. Because he's got a lot of chucking weapons. He rolled a 13.
So you chuck the spear, and you watch the ram head just duck as the spear flies into the trees behind it. It has now turned its attention toward you.
Brick steps back 10 feet and then teleports 10 more to see how far I can get. And that's Brick's turn. He wants to see where it goes.
All right. Isolde, you are on deck. The Chimera flies, even with reduced movement, toward Brick. Is going to make a bite attack on Brick.
Alright,
That is a 16.
that will hit.
Okay. You will take 11 points of piercing damage.
Have to 5 or 6.
5.
You got it.
And 1 second. You see the dragon head rear back, and it is going to use its fire breath ability on you. That is a dexterity saving throw.
Alright, I get advantage on those. The first one is a nat 20. Do I need the advantage? I ask myself. No, I think I'm good.
Okay, you're going to take half damage.
Okie dokie.
So that is 15 points of fire, and you're a tiefling. We're gonna
That's
have
a tiefling.
You don't have fire resistance from that, right?
I have necrotic resistance. Yeah, it's different.
Ouch. All right, so you're just going to take 15 points of fire damage from that instead.
Okay.
Ooh.
Listen. We
and
are who we are.
unfortunately, you will take a claw attack as well,
Okay.
but that misses. So
Okay.
the Chimera seems to be in a fit of rage. It is wildly wailing in your direction. That claw slams into the dirt just next to you, and you manage to avoid it. That is going to bring us to Isolde with Theo on deck.
I'm really tempted to try Dissonant Whispers again. Or not
Dissonant Whispers or Phantasmal?
I've got them both. I'm here to mess with people's heads, you know?
Yeah.
It'll be fine. So yeah, it doesn't really seem like this is the fight that we hold anything back. So I am going to Phantasmal Force again and see if we can get this one confused. So that's another intelligence saving throw.
That's a fail.
Okay. So this illusion is... You know what? This time, it's going to be like all around it. Like the plant life, everything in its area has eyes. Like in our direction. So it's trying to back it away from us a bit. It will also take 6 points of psychic damage. And I'm basically trying to where's the yeah, I basically want the eyes to be more aligned in this direction of it so that it's backed away and maybe not going to come towards us. At least the casters.
Brick is where Brick wants to be, do not worry.
And then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'll move over here. And also, just because I don't have anything else to do with this, telekinetic shove. One day this will work. I was wrong about the DC. It is a DC 14 strength save.
That is a 17.
And that's my turn.
Theo, Kerrigan on deck.
All right. Theo just watched Brick get laid into full frontal, and Theo is going to, let's see, yeah, I think he's going to try to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 up here, and he's going to bonus action move his hunter's mark onto it and take an attack. Does this one rely on dark vision, or does it have some other sense?
Give me an investigation check.
Okay. That's a 1 not natural.
You think you'd have to get a little bit closer to really understand what this chimera is using as far as senses. Right now, it's very difficult to tell.
All right. Well, hunter's mark on. We're just gonna keep laying on the arrows. So I will make a longbow attack. The reason I ask is because of my feature, I would be invisible to it, thus giving me advantage on the attack. That's all I'm asking.
This would give you advantage.
Okay, thank you. Oh, so close. 27. And I'm going to lay in one of my dreadful strikes. I get 2 more of these. So first off, the longbow damage. All right, 11 from the longbow, plus 3 psychic, plus... Come on. There's Hunter's Mark. There it is. Plus 3 from the Hunter's Mark. So 17 total.
Okay.
And that'll do it.
Kerrigan, Osmond on deck.
All
Got it.
right, so Kerrigan is... Quick question about flanking. Does that impose advantage on our attacks?
It would give you advantage.
Great. So we're going to go here and can do 2 attacks as part of the attack action. So the first will be a 16.
That is a hit.
Right. That's for 6 points of slashing damage. Next is a 15 to hit
Also hits.
for 6 piercing. And then 9 damage from sneak attack. And then I'm going to step back 1 and use bonus action to hide in these roots. And if you need it, that is a 15 on stealth.
I'll tell you right now, it does look as though the dragon's head turns in your direction in response to this.
All right.
Osmond, Brick on deck.
Okay. Seen the basilisk come up and attack Brick. Though, I mean, I guess she's just annoyed. She is going to... Does she notice how Brick is looking right now?
Burnt, mostly.
What? Got it. Oh, this might be a terrible idea. Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Dang it. Okay, she's actually going to move down. Nope. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. She's going to move down this way. And she's going to cast... She's going to do another Toll the Dead. So a 13 wisdom saving throw.
That is exactly a 13.
So that means he passes, right? Okay, so then nothing happens. And she's going to stay where she is.
Brick.
Rick, does he still get advantage if Kerrigan is 5 feet away?
No.
Of course he doesn't. Why would he? He doesn't need that.
Sorry.
Are you though? Rick will, believe it or not, swing his great axe. It's a 19 to hit.
Your great axe finds purchase.
Finally! So that's gonna be 8 plus 2 is 10. Now I have a question. The great axe comes with cleave, which means I can make another melee attack against a creature within 5 feet. Because it has different heads, could I argue that this thing is more than one creature?
I'm gonna say no for the sake of future shenanigans not fucking me over.
Fair enough. I just, it's got more than one head, different creature heads. So that's gonna be 10 damage. And his bonus action, he could teleport out. However, this thing is very close to everyone else. Does he care? No, he'll hang out. He's fine here.
Brick, you are facing off against the Chimera, and you are extremely focused in this moment.
Okay.
Sold. And Oswin, you hear from this bottom right corner footsteps, small footsteps, and you hear the sound of dragging metal that keeps hitting roots.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, God.
Oh no.
You look back and you see Coco with a really large sword. He's just dragging it through the mud, and he looks around
No.
with tired eyes and freezes when he sees the Chimera. That's going to take us to the Chimera's turn. Brick, the Chimera is first going to try to stave off the effects of this phantasmal shenanigans.
Which is its action.
Correct. That is a nat 20. So the effects are completely gone. It is going to use its movement. You can make an opportunity attack.
I will be doing that with Sentinel active, which means it's not going anywhere, ideally.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm swinging. Recklessly.
Poor DM doesn't get to have any fun with this Chimera.
I'm recklessly swinging, give me a moment. That's a 21.
That'll hit.
So that's gonna be another 9 damage, and its speed is 0 for the rest of its turn. It lives here now.
What's the damage from that? Sorry.
Oh, it was 9, I think?
9.
Hold on, let me check the stats. 9.
That's going to bring us to this old with Theo on deck.
Well, I'm out of spells. And it took off my last one. Let me check something really quick.
You got all your cantrips.
Yeah, I got Eldritch Blast, the only one that matters. But I just wanted to double check something. Yeah, I'm gonna do what any good warlock does, an Eldritch Blast. That is a 25 to hit for 8 points of damage.
All right. With that crackle of magic, the Chimera is hurt, severely hurt.
And you know what? I'm gonna try to shove it again. So, strength saving throw.
18.
That'll work one day, I swear. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep moving. 7, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, there. I'm getting away from the child that's probably about to get eaten. And
Fair enough. All right, Theo, Kerrigan on deck.
Theo is going to continue attacking this thing. And if I hit, I'll use my last dreadful strike on it. Ooh, that's only a 13. Damn. Rolled low.
That is a miss.
Yeah, Theo's a little taken aback by this creature. There's a lot of heads to it. It looks very demonic to him, so he's just going to... Does he see the child?
Yeah, at this point, Coco is panicking. Everybody, to include the Chimera, is aware of the presence of Coco.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh, goodness. Where is he? Can we have a token? Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Theo, I think, is actually going to, as a bonus action, use his adrenaline rush species feature to take the dash action as a bonus action and gain 2 temp HP. And is actually going to head for Coco. 30, so that gets him there at the dash, and then some of his movement, interposing himself between the Chimera and this little child. And that will be his turn.
Kerrigan. Oswin on deck.
Hop out of the roots and move 5 feet closer. And sneak attack again, since I have advantage from flanking. First attack is an 18 to hit.
Yep.
That deals 8 damage. Second attack is a 25 to hit. With 5 damage and 10 damage from sneak attack. So a total of 23.
All right.
And then I'm just going to stay right where I am.
Okay, the Chimera is on its last leg at this point. Oswin. Brick on deck.
Okay. Last leg. With that in mind, he's gonna do another level 2 magic missile.
What does it look like
So
as you kill the Chimera? It's impossible for you to not do enough damage.
Okay. So she's gonna swing. She's gonna swing her arms around, and in her arms, her hands are gonna be covered by this sort of, again, like this glowing purple, translucent kind of light. Actually, no, it's more of a silvery. And she's going to then just quickly, both her hands, boom, 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 and do 4 bolts coming out of her hands in quick succession as they sort of, one hits the dragon head, one hits the goat head, one hits the lion head, and then the last one bashes into the chest.
All right. The Chimera falls over, lifeless, and we are out of combat. I think after the adrenaline wears off, Brick, you turn to see Coco still shivering, having dropped the sword.
I figured when that thing dove for it and I had to stop it, Brick figured out what it was diving for.
I don't know. We don't know if it was going to be moving towards the kid.
Brick does.
Did we?
I'm sorry, it's tiny. Look at it. Look at it. Which one of these is the easiest meal? Is it the ones that have large weapons that have been hurting it, or is it the small, shivering child?
Just saying, it also seemed pretty upset we killed the basilisks.
It did seem weirdly upset about that.
Not sure why.
Well, I have a theory, but,
Brick just kind of is going for... He just goes and scoops up Coco like, yeah, okay, cool, it's dead now. We've handled it.
As Brick passes sort of a heavily breathing Oswin's going to actually reach out and place her hand sort of almost
Brick
absentmindedly
hisses at
on
you.
Brick and do her... Well, she does her
You hit
healing
me again.
hand, and to give you 2d4
Alright, do I roll it or
healing.
you? Go for it.
I do. Going to be 4 healing.
He does not
Not
turn or
much,
thank
but-
you. Kirsten thanks you. Brick does not acknowledge you.
Yes, I understand, but this is more of a reaction thing to her. Someone was hurt, reached out, does that, doesn't even
Perfect.
say anything.
Brick, what was that?
Hold on, I have to roll a quick intelligence check. Oh, what do you know? Something called a chimera. We could explain the details later. It was very bad and evil, and now it's dead. We should leave this area.
Okay.
I've picked up the child and the sword. Like, it's not really an option to leave the area, but he does look back at the others like, everyone else in favor of leaving the area?
this is right outside of the camp. We can't just leave bodies here. It's going to attract predators.
Agreed.
Take the child back. We can get some people from the village, from Keep. I don't know where you actually came from.
It was a fort.
the fort. We can get some of the folks from the fort. I'm sure they can butcher some of this for the road, and the rest can be dragged further afield.
Sounds good. Brick leaves, unconcerned with what you guys are going to do to the monster corpses. He trusts you.
That's a mistake.
Yeah, Theo is kind of giving the corpses a bit of a once-over. Especially the basilisk, says he's definitely encountered basilisks before. Chimeras, he's probably given them a bit more of a wide berth, if he's even encountered them. Once he gets up close, can he check to see if there's anything off about them?
Give me a medicine check.
Ooh, medicine.
Can I help him with this? Assist?
I'm going to say no for this one.
Okay. Good luck, buddy. You're on your own. Actually, you know what? No, I got something better. Guidance. I forgot I had this whole time.
Well, let's see if that... Yeah, that's a 7. Yeah, 7 total.
It seems like the basilisks are normal. As normal as a basilisk can be. I will say that you're aware that their petrification gaze can be cured by harvesting natural ingredients from the basilisk itself, but they seem relatively normal. Though you know, much like the others do, that many creatures were created when the Ashen Veil appeared and the Pale Hunt took over the Hollow Wilds. There was a creation of a great many beasts that did not exist in this world previously. And it's likely that these are just a few examples of the retinue of beasts that the Pale Hunt tracks down.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not the Hollow Wilds. So why they would be here is an extremely pressing question in your mind.
Don't usually see these creatures acting this way outside of the Hollow Wilds.
Furthermore, you don't know why a follower of the Crimson Hierophant would have any association with the Pale Hunt, which again pings something in your mind as to why warlocks of the Crimson Hierophant were at Fort Dwyn under ravens of a different command, while the Pale Hunt's hobgoblins were approaching from a distance. There's entirely too many cooks in the kitchen, all seemingly working together.
Don't like this.
There's a like.
Can't make sense of any of it. There's signs of
Demonic influence from multiple camps. Multiple demon lords.
Well, on a plus side, this now solidifies that I will be staying with you all. It seems like the direction you're moving in ends with the death of a lot of demons. So, I think I want to go in that direction if you'll have me join you.
You've definitely proven yourself today. I think you might be useful on the road.
In the distance, you all hear a cry of pain from the camp. And with that, we will take a 10-minute break.
Cool.
Okay.
We still have not managed a long rest.
Not only have we not long rested, we still haven't learned everyone's names.
No, that has to have happened, right? Like, when we finally gathered everybody.
No, it
like,
really
did we
hasn't.
Did we
No,
Rick
we
does
still
not
haven't said
know who the wizard is, or the difference between the rogue and the ranger.
Hold on. So y'all
Yeah.
asked Isolde's name. Isolde knows some of your names.
If it helps, Isolde offered.
No, yeah, I don't know.
Is it
Actually,
the
I
only
haven't asked your
offered their
name.
name, so Brick offered his.
Actually, no, Isolde's name would be pretty well known at this point because they offered their name to the whole convoy at once.
We all know who Isolde is. There we
Fair.
Oh, that's true.
And I'm pretty sure that the tall tiefling is named Coco.
go. Yeah, pretty sure.
Oswin has just been pulled in directions because she's still dealing with the fact that her bodyguard and best friend was killed. From
I
what
would
all
also
she-
like
she
to
can
add,
know.
just for the record, Brick has no idea who that is or why we care. Exactly. He
Well,
has
you
no
don't.
opinion on this,
She
but he
does.
notices that you certainly do.
Mhm.
Alright, I'm gonna
Or at least I have some opinion on something
All right,
that happened.
I'm gonna go grab a refill. I'll be back.
Yes. Still trying to figure out how to play her in this situation, because I had one idea of who she was, and then this happened. I'm like, how is she reacting to this?
Look, Isolde's doing fine. This is their bailiwick. They're like, killing demons, fighting monsters in the woods. I was doing this yesterday, I'll be doing this tomorrow.
I mean, Theo's in the same camp. It's just he's been doing it for a while, and at some point a dam is going to break in his mind.
I mean, Isolde's been doing it for 20, 30, I don't know, how long?
15
Let me check
years.
my notes.
17, sorry.
17.
Isolde has been doing it... How old are they? I forgot.
I mean, I guess whatever your thing is, we don't know your history, so
Probably
what you've
about
been doing, but
40 some odd years.
yeah, Oswin is not in that boat. She's
Sorry, I'll continue.
nope. She's been in a relatively safe location.
Isolde, you know what? Y'all learn about Isolde, or you won't. Y'all ask, or you won't.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Oz.
Theo has watched plenty of people die, and he is holding on.
Yeah, Isolde is unbothered by the people who you haven't. You guys are like, oh, some people died back there? Cool story. Next, what are we doing with? And
Speaking of that, and at the risk of not metagaming too much in combat, if anyone ever goes below half health, just a little hint would be helpful for me specifically.
there is actually a condition for that applies to both players and enemies for the purpose of abilities, and it's called bloodied. And you can, as far as my understanding of Raw, you are supposed to tell people when you're bloodied.
Yeah, that's really important for a very negative side effect for care.
Oh, bloodlust. Start trying to kill us all. Great.
Not quite. I wish it was something helpful, or at least partially helpful. It is very negative.
I'm also wondering, your characters should be a little concerned about Isolde, because how is Eldritch Blast known to be something that servants of evil use?
I don't know. We'll figure out how to react to you when we figure out how to react to you. Again, Oswin is not
That might
really
be a bad
focusing on
thing.
that right now.
I mean,
shouldn't have done that.
Kerrigan's first interaction with you was a crossbow pointed at your face, so...
To which I was oddly calm about that, too.
I was gonna say, yeah, Brick grappled you, and you're just like, hey, what's up, girl?
Yeah, I'm not your enemy.
That goes a long way in Brick's book.
I mean, Theo was ready to draw on you if you so much as flinched the wrong way.
Still calm. My character is all red flags.
This is a world of red flags. We basically got to be looking out for the shades.
I think that's the problem, though. Other people's red flags are like, oh, I'm skittish. Isolde's red flag is, I'm very calm about you trying to kill me.
I mean, are you trying to tell us we should react to you
No.
in a certain way?
I just think it's amusing.
Okay.
Just saying. For the time being, you're acting as an ally. You are an ally. Theo sees you do something that puts the group in danger. He will cut you down without hesitation.
Just give me a chance to do something that puts the group in danger, you know?
Give us time.
Yeah, when the opportunity presents itself. Let's see.
I just think I'm playing a boring character. No, it's just she's just I don't know if I'm reacting right.
Right now, we're in trauma mode. Once we get relatively safe, I
We're in
think
what?
we can start seeing characters come back again.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, it's the shock mode. She'll get over this. Not get over it. She'll figure out how to deal with this.
The wound will scar.
Yeah, and right now she's also trying not to draw attention to who she actually is. Baby Sphinx kitties. Little aliens.
And we're back. All right. So, in the wake of the defeat of the Chimera and the Basilisk, what are each of you doing? I know that Brick, you took Coco and the sword back toward camp. What are the rest of you doing?
Well, there was a scream
Correct.
from the camp, right? Oz is going to look up and sort of
Yeah,
Start heading back towards the
run
camp.
for the next terrible thing.
Yeah, Kerrigan would run immediately towards the screams.
You see Gathmir surrounded by a few individuals. There are some people who are still waking up from that sound, but some have been quick and have surrounded Gathmir as he lays on the ground in pain, with his hands on either side of his head. The voices, they're screaming. It hurts.
Can I crouch down beside him and do some kind of religion check to see if this is connected to his god?
Sure.
Try to make sense of this, like, because I saw he had the Lacera symbol and was speaking to it earlier, so I thought that might be connected. That is a 19.
It does not seem like this has anything to do with what you know of Lacera. You can, however, give me an Arcana check.
Oh, something I'm really bad at.
Can I do that too?
Sure.
Can I guide myself?
Okay.
I think the prerequisite is to know that somebody is attempting to do something. I would argue that you know that you're attempting to do something. And yeah, I don't think there's any restriction on you guiding yourself.
Okay. Just making sure. Well, I don't want to, I want to make sure you're cool with it before I add it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I got a 15 Arcana.
With guidance, a hot 9.
Okay. So, two different things. Isolde, you feel the presence of a foreign entity that is gracing the presence of Gathmir. And Oswin, you feel as though whatever is affecting Gathmir is slowly spreading to you as you are trying to identify what is wrong with him.
Well, it'll take me 10 minutes to do detect magic, so I don't.
Brick has rolled up by this point. With he just put the kid on his back because he heard the scream too, and was just like, "All right, here we are." And he's gonna activate his magic awareness, so I will know any spell or magic item affecting anything within 60 feet that isn't behind total cover.
Gathmir is being bombarded psychically by mages from far, far away.
Can I do something?
Can I attempt to resist them?
He would have to do it. What would you like to do to help him?
Oh, you said it's also
Right,
trying to get to me.
it's more
right?
so at the cusp of affecting you. I assumed you kind of like dropped connection.
Yeah.
Unless
yeah,
you
yeah.
want to be subjected by this effect.
You're the GM.
Have a minute pass that I could just have like a minute to my character, just do some, like, take a minute real quick. Like, it literally takes 60 seconds. And I
Sure,
get a
you
spell
don't-
slot back.
You don't have any connection to Gathmir. I would imagine you're, if anything, just slightly curious.
So, actually, now, once I get a spell slot back through my kind of esoteric rites, I am going to use Detect Thoughts to try to delve into his mind and help him, now that we're putting all of this together. Because I have seen horrible things, I have had horrible things in my mind. I am not afraid of a couple of wizards.
I mean, has Brick told us that they know that there's?
Well,
Right,
he
just
opened his
bombarding
mouth
him.
to for sure. So yeah, he would share that knowledge with you guys. He also knows what school of magic it is, if that assists. So I don't know if that gives me anything besides psychic attack. Wizards far away.
Not a particular spell. It is a magical effect, but I will tell you, you know this is of a demonic origin.
Seems fair.
This doesn't mean anything to you, so I'm not going to give you the chance to give a history check. However,
God no.
those of you who are a little bit older, sorry, Brick, you can
Not-
make a history check
Okay.
with this information from Brick.
Okay.
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 With
Using
my
guidance
-1.
again.
I got a 12.
So you're all trying to put together the pieces as the thoughts of Gathmir are being heard by Isolde, and you essentially hear a multitude of warped voices telling Gathmir that he now serves the ivory sword. What are your totals?
I got a 12.
I got a 6.
A 6.
I got a 7. I'm too distracted with these voices.
Okay. And I believe that means that Oswin, your intuition is telling you that the prophets of bone, known most commonly as the seers, who serve the ivory sword upon the ivory spires, they are attacking Gathmir. Now, if y'all remember, Gathmir prayed, and it seems like in doing so there was just a glimmer that was detectable. He's now being attacked by demonic sorcerers from afar, and they are trying to convert him to their master's bidding.
In my research I've done in the past, have I done extensive research on the prophets of bone and the seers? Do you think? With my
I think you
history?
would have found just bits and pieces of lore, most of which would just tell you that they sit atop their towers and they stare at prophecy and they try to manipulate it under the command of the Ivory Sword. But their specific goals, that would elude you.
Is my like
So the fact that he worshipped another god, they are now trying to get him to worship the one that they consider
Correct,
is
and
correct.
it's not even necessarily a god, it is a demon lord.
Yeah.
But you also know the seers were not born demons. They were mortals that were corrupted and transformed. It seems like something eerily similar is in the early stages with Gathmir.
He's being attacked by the prophets of bone. These guys are known as the seers. I think they're trying to convert him.
So how do we stop that?
Kill me.
I don't know.
Kill me. Gathmir starts to scream in pain.
The moment he says that, Kerrigan stabs him.
Rick just kind of covers Coco's eyes real quick.
As the life fades from Gathmir, Theo, you can't help but wonder if the ravens were also connected to the seers. That is not a trademark of the Pale Hunt. That is not a trademark of the Crimson Hierophant. But it did seem, from your expertise, as though a portal was being opened by powerful spellcasters.
Theo grits his teeth as he watches Kerrigan and Gathmir's life. He understands the necessity of it. He's seen this happen. He's seen people die plenty of times, but he kind of turns away after the fact, and that's when his mind starts thinking about the connection between all the demon lords so far. And I think he kind of, in frustration, because he's not somebody who focuses on big picture. He's always focused on the now, the small picture. Kill this person, keep these people safe. But now we've got 3 demon lords seemingly working together. And that's just leading to a very big headache for him, on top of all the other stuff that's going on in his head. So I think, physicality-wise, from all that, he kicks a rock. He kicks a stump or something. Because has he ever seen or heard of something like this happening before? Multiple demon lords sort of working together.
No, when the Ashen Veil appeared, the separate demon lords took their own respective regions and have largely been separated. It's more of a free-for-all in their eyes, up until recently.
Yeah, like, were they as much their enemies of each other as they were of the people of this planet?
Correct. So there has to have been something important enough to unite them.
And for some reason, they've turned their attention on us. Yeah. After a moment, Theo kind of collects himself and turns back to this group, half of whom he still doesn't know their names, and says, something truly, truly horrible must be happening for demon lords to work together.
Oswin is just going to sort of fall to her knees next to Gathmir. Again, someone she kind of knew, someone who had a connection to where she was from, gone, attacked. And she's heard of how difficult it is out in the world, and she remembers those early years when she was younger, but she's been separated from it for a while. And she's just now remembering how bad it can be. And she just sort of sits there, reaching up and closing Gathmir's eyes. And just sort of sits there.
I think he has like set Coco down and is like, and this is why we do not ever think devout thoughts. It's important to never allow one to cross your mind. If you even consider a god, you are in danger. This is a godless world. We do not think about them. It's very important that you do this.
Quietly, Oz goes, so what now? They know where we are. Maybe. Do they?
Probably. But it's not as if finding us would have been that difficult to begin with if they were really dedicated to it. Responsibly speaking, we must rest and begin again in the morning. These people can't march endlessly. Also, please, next time you go to kill someone, give me warning so that I can not be digging around in their mind when they die. That was very disconcerting.
Sorry.
Speaking of that, there's an image that's somewhat burned into your mind, Isolde, as it was the last thing on the mind of Gathmir. It's not something you recognize, but it is a sword of golden light. There is no words attached to this image, just simply a sword.
Okay, file that away for later. I think we all have enough on our plate, but we'll come to that. The other thing, while I was in his mind, I also had wanted to try, since they were also digging around in his head, to try to get any information I could from the people who were also in his head. Was I able to do anything akin to that?
I think they would have tried to resist, so give me a wisdom saving throw.
So me save, or would they save against my spell?
You save.
Okie dokie. Am I proficient? I'm proficient in this. 19.
You feel the full weight of all of these casters bear down upon you, but your mind does not belong to them. It barely belongs to you. There is something unspoken that wraps around your mind almost like a bubble, shielding you from this attack. And you can hear whispers fading from your mind as your deity protects you.
Yeah, like I said, I've had worse in my head than some wizards.
You're not able to gather much as you try to reach out to them.
That's okay. Like, they at least are aware that someone with the power to look back, like, that might give them pause to think twice. And
Perhaps.
someone who can resist their unified power. So, I achieved my goal. Check mark. So, I think we need to all get some rest. And all of you look terrible. I'm all out of spells. I mean, I could just take like a quick little like nap and be good, but I think everybody getting some sleep and then moving as quickly as we all can get together to do so is the best choice. And we figure out the rest tomorrow.
Agreed.
Seems like a good plan.
For the record, you all acquitted yourself admirably in that fight. I was very impressed. I'm not often impressed by people battling monsters. Usually they just die and scream.
Coco shoots finger guns. Thanks.
You did great, kid.
Let's not encourage the child just yet.
Where did you get that sword? Now that I think about it.
You see he points over to somebody who is still dead asleep and has not stirred despite the roars and screams that have rung out.
Alright, we're gonna teach you how to hold it and use it, but that's your sword now.
Oswald looks up from Gathmir. What was the reaction of the rest of the crowd when
Despair
Kerrigan just stabbed him?
And fear.
Of
Fear of Kerrigan,
now,
despair
or just
that
what has happened?
Gathmir was compromised. They understand the necessity because they were all hearing what was happening, but it doesn't take away from the fact that he was the leader of Fort Dwin and is now dead.
So Oswin is going to take inspiration from her father, thinking about him, and while she might not be the most well-spoken or socially accurate, she's gonna, in her mind, she's gonna go, mourn later, mourn later, mourn later, be now, be now, be now. And she's gonna try to stand up, try to channel her noble lineage and turn to everybody and go, we have to move on. We'll bury him. We'll move on. We need rest. We need to get to safety. Everybody, rest. See, it's kind of she's trying hard, but to do this and to keep her composure.
Give me performance.
Yay! I have such a great charisma stat. That's a 5!
Guidance while you're doing this? Not that that's going to bring it up to anything but a 9, but...
I mean, if DM's okay with
probably
it.
doesn't matter either way.
In all honesty, it would not really help.
Yeah. She's been through a shit ton today that she
Plus, you don't want guidance from Isolde. You don't want that heat. It's not good.
That might make it worse.
Like, Isolde from guidance is
Exactly.
like whispering secrets you're not supposed to know in your ear, your eyes bleeding a little bit, but you feel like, okay, I know, I just want to get this done.
Well, I mean, that wouldn't be too far away from what Oz usually goes through.
You see a great many
So how...
looks of disdain. They, as a group, do not put much value in your word. Several disgruntled survivors kind of just walk off on their own in a small group.
Damn it. Damn it. Damn it.
Maybe we all just get some rest. I'll go watch the gate, and I'll take my nap later.
He's gonna walk off, sort of find somewhere to lean up against and just huddle into herself.
A few Veilguard have begun to skin and cut chunks of meat from the flesh of the basilisk as well as the chimera.
DM, how many watches are there generally?
Like how many shifts?
Yeah, how many shifts do you usually break it down into? Like
About 4.
4, okay.
2-hour shifts.
I can take 2 of them and still get a long rest.
Theo is going to try to sleep as best he can, but he's going to prepare to wake himself up for the final shift so that he can also try to start. He's aware morale is in the shitter, so he's going to resort to what always worked in the guard, intimidation. So in the morning, he's going to start just trying to muster up what morale there is to have, just to at least get people on their feet.